Hi everybody, my name is Dr. Kelly Ryan. I am one of the primary care sports medicine physicians, so I'm one of the team doctors. I was working at the racetrack today, but I take care of all different kind of athletes, including soccer players, football players, lacrosse players, you name it, I probably cover it. Although one topic that is pretty similar for a lot of our athletes is concussions. We do worry about concussions a lot because a concussion is an injury to your brain. Not everyone knows that they have it when it happens, and sometimes you don't know until the next day. Parents, sometimes you might notice that your child's not acting 100% right, but maybe they didn't have a big hit to the head. It doesn't always have to be a huge hit, sometimes even just the little taps where the brain gets sloshed around in your skull. Sometimes that can even cause problems. Luckily, a lot of the coaches are getting extra training in concussions, so they can keep an eye out, but also it's important for all of our players and the parents to be looking out as well. Some of the things that you might notice if you are suffering from a concussion might be a headache, which is one of the most common. You might feel a little bit dizzy. Sometimes you might feel just really tired. Sometimes kids will lose some of their memory. They might not necessarily be able to answer questions as quickly. Sometimes they have problems finding words. These are all symptoms of a concussion. One of the most important things to know about concussions is that if you even think that you might have just the slightest one, it's really important to let somebody know or to come out of sport, because if you keep playing or practicing and you get hit again, that could be really bad. And then you might end up with headaches or symptoms or problems, for a much longer time. Concussions also affect the way that we think. So sometimes it can be really difficult in school. And exercise, when you exercise, concussions can sometimes make you feel even worse. So these are all things that you should talk about with your doctor. If you are concerned about having a concussion or if your child has a concussion, the most important thing, kids, it's important to tell your coach or tell your parents. And then parents, you can go ahead and give us a call at 188-44-SPORT, and we'll help you out with finding a sports medicine specialist who specializes in concussion, because it is really important to be able to have someone who really understands this problem, because it's very complicated. Until you see that specialist, one of the things that you want to do is make sure that you let your brain rest. And so one of the things that you can do is try to avoid using your phone too much. Just make sure to be resting, stay away from loud noises or loud music, those types of things. Of course, you can always give us a call, and if you need to talk to somebody, we can try to talk to you ahead of time. I know that we have some fantastic athletic trainers that are working with you. They'll also be helpful to guide you through what to do. If there's any really, really significant symptoms after being hit in the head, of course, we always recommend that you be evaluated immediately. And these types of problems will be a significant memory loss, of course, if they become unconscious at all, and especially if they're starting to have some vomiting. These can be some really bad symptoms. Anyways, it was nice to talk to you again. If you have any questions, of course, you can go ahead and reach out to your athletic trainers. I'm also happy to help however I can, but hopefully I'll talk to you soon. Stay safe.
Hi, my name is Laura Long, and I'm a physical therapist with MedStar Health Physical Therapy. I'm here today to talk to you about concussions. So as you know, concussions can cause a lot of symptoms. These include headache and neck pain, dizziness and balance issues, difficulty sleeping, difficulty with memory, thinking and concentrating, and often you're feeling like you're in a fog, and just being unable to play sports or return to your schoolwork. Historically, we used to tell patients that when they've had a concussion to sleep or rest until their symptoms go away. But we now know that that's counterproductive. We now know that we want patients to come into therapy soon to manage their symptoms and to return to sport quickly and safely. There are 3 different therapies that can really help with managing concussion symptoms. Physical therapy can work on balance and dizziness issues. We can do manual therapy for your headaches and neck pain. And we can do aerobic and cardiac activity to get you back to running and soccer safely without exacerbating your symptoms. Occupational therapy can work on blurry and double vision issues so that you can read and use the computer and return to schoolwork without having problems. Finally, speech-language pathology services can work on those cognitive symptoms, the issues with memory, concentrating, and difficulty remembering and thinking so that you can get back to schoolwork. And all the therapies can also educate you on recovery, how to manage your symptoms effectively, how to return to sport and return to learn quickly and safely without exacerbating your symptoms.
All right, so now that hopefully we built up some base strength, we're gonna focus on some plyometrics. Now, plyometrics is jumping, essentially, but a lot of people like to do this where they jump a bazillion times in a row to really get their heart rate going. So they do squat jumps just over and over and over like this, or tuck jumps or something like that. But if you really want to get good at plyometrics, that's not the point. The point is quality of the movement and control, and also the rest period is important when you're doing plyometrics. So you don't want to do them in succession quickly. You want to give yourself a rest, reset everything appropriately, and then go again. The thing you're trying to focus on when you're doing plyometrics is to decrease what's called the amortization phase, which is the phase where you're going from up to down, or the transition phase. That's what you want to try to focus on, making the shortest that you possibly can. So you don't want to squat down and sit here and wait for it to move up. The idea is that you squat down, and then this, when you go from down to up, is as short of a time frame as you possibly can have it. That's what plyometrics are about. So when you're doing just a basic squat jump on the ground, you don't want to sit here and then push up. You want to go down and up, and then reset everything, and then do it again. Okay? It shouldn't be this a bazillion times in a row. That's not how you really get powerful and explosive. So the first thing you can do is start off with basic squat jumps just like that. So your feet are about hip width distance apart. You want to sit back. Like you're gonna tap your butt against the bench here. You want to land soft, which means you want to land with your knees bent. We don't ever want to stiff leg things. That's how you tear your ACL. So you want to land with your knees bent, and soft, meaning land like you're a dainty cat trying to creep up on something, not like an elephant making a lot of noise, okay? So quiet. And again, the idea is that the phase, once I go down, I go up as fast as I can, explosively, and then I collect myself, and then I reset everything before I move on to the next rep. So I'm gonna sit back, up, and then reset everything. I go back to a normal starting position, and then I do it again. You can use your arms too, that helps you propel, but not out here, not flaily arms, close to your body, controlled. So, okay. Again, the other thing is you don't want to land, try not to land with your knees going in or out. So a lot of people land with their knees going in. It's called valgus. Again, it predisposes you to a lot of injuries. So you want to try to make sure your knees are in line with your toes, and that your knees aren't going over your toes when you land. So you're sitting back the whole time you're doing this. So here's another look. Okay, so start with just basic squat jumps. Then we'll move to box jumps. So grab a bench or a box or something. It doesn't have to be this tall, it can be shorter. And then we're just gonna jump onto the box. So we're here, we're doing all those same basic principles again, and landing up on the box, nice and soft. I'm not banging the bench, okay? Then step down, nice and easy. Reload everything and go again. Okay? You can step down backwards or step down forward. You'll work a little bit different angle of the muscles there. Then, once you get pretty good at box jumps, you can move to drop jumps. So basically you just do a step up onto the box. Now from here, we're just dropping down. Here's what you don't want to do. Ow, that hurts just watching me, right? Don't do that. Okay? So, we're gonna step up. We're gonna follow those principles. Light on our feet, bending our knees, being explosive, okay? So, I'm not just falling off the box. I'm kind of jumping, propelling myself off the box. And then nice and low. I had to take a step forward because I lost my balance, which is fine, but you want it. This is helping absorb all that energy so it's not shooting up through your body. Okay, so then we're doing a few of these to get good at the landing. Again, we're sitting back, my knees are in line with my toes, they're not in like this. Then, once you get that mastered, you can put them together into a sequence. So we'll box jump up and then jump down and catch ourselves. The other thing you can do too is a drop jump from there. So we land and then we jump. So that would look like jump up, down, up. And then that's like the full picture, put it all together. Okay, so when you're starting out, let's just start with 2 sets of 6 of everything and just focus on really good quality movements. Once you get good at that, you can go to 3 sets of 6 and then maybe 3 sets of 8. That's it. These are low rep types of activities with it resetting an explosive rest to rest between each one and then reset everything and go again. We're not trying to do 15 of these and we're not trying to do more than 3 sets generally per session.
Hi, welcome to Bascom TV. We're showing a new segment today and we're going to call it Bryan's Brain Break. So what I'd like to do today is talk about the very basics of the brain and how it operates. So your brain connects to your spinal cord and you have 2 types of nervous systems. One is called your sympathetic nervous system, which most people are more familiar with in the term of fight or flight response. And the second is your parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest and digest response. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about mindfulness and breathing and how we can try to get our parasympathetic nervous system more active. For most people, everything is a go, go, go basis on a day-to-day living. So what you're finding is that your nervous system is constantly going. The nervous system is meant to kick in the need for extreme action. So for example, if someone's chasing you, your nervous system has to kick in to make your muscles turn on, take the blood flow to your legs and your arms and away from your digestive system and the rest of your body. However, what we're finding now is that a lot of people are running in this nervous system pattern all the time. Now things that shouldn't stress you out get you stressed, like sitting and taking a test, or playing soccer, or sitting in traffic. So what I like to do is encourage you guys to try to focus more this week on your rest and digest system, your parasympathetic system. And I encourage you to do some form of mindfulness. It could be sitting outside and enjoying nature. It could be taking a moment to just breathe and stay away from your television or the video games. It could also just be going for a nice walk. So I encourage you to start with that this week. That's our first installation of Bryan's Brain Break. Each week we'll talk a little bit more about your brain and ways to make your mind stronger. We spend every day trying to make our heart and our body stronger through exercise. Now it's time to take that time for your brain and make your brain health and your mental health stronger.